Good day, everyone. Good day, Ma'am Ana. This is Mark Del Inojo, a BEd third year student of Nurso Shatton campus. Welcome to ED304, the teacher and the community, school culture, and organizational leadership. In this video, we will be learning together about Theodore Brammel's social reconstructionism and Paulo Freire's critical pedagogy. But before that, allow me to present first our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to demonstrate understanding of Theodore Brammel's social reconstructionism and Paulo Freire's critical pedagogy, promoting diversity, inclusivity, and social justice within the educational setting. Create a comparative analysis showcasing the similarities and differences of social reconstructionism and critical pedagogy, emphasizing education as a tool for promoting diversity, inclusivity, and social justice, and reflect on the significance of applying social reconstructionism and critical pedagogy in the teaching and learning process, upholding personal and professional values regarding education and social change. To formally start our discussion, let's first give a brief background of Theodore Brammel. Who is Theodore Brammel? Theodore Burgerhart Brammel was born in Neillsville, Wisconsin in 1904. He was a philosopher and an educator and the founder of social reconstructionism. According to him, schools should take the lead in changing or reconstructing the social order. He also asserted that creating a new social order through education could provide society with the basic needs it needed. He developed his own theory of schools, being the ultimate source to bring about political and social change. Let's move on to social reconstructionism. What is social reconstructionism? Social reconstructionism is a student-centered educational philosophy focused on reconstructing society, meaning to say that this philosophy encourages students, teachers, and schools to focus their studies and energies on alleviating pervasive social inequities, and as the name implies, reconstruct society into a new and more just social order. In addition, this educational philosophy encourages students to be the change agents by challenging the norm and seeking to make society a better place for everyone. And in this educational philosophy, areas that are found to be lacking should be identified and recommendations for change and reform should be made. For example, with regards to curriculum development, a school can implement a curriculum that explores contemporary social issues such as climate change, inequality, or human rights violations, and encouraging students to analyze these issues critically and take actions to address them. Another example, in relation to community engagement, students can work with community organizations to tackle issues like homelessness, food insecurity, or environmental degradation, applying their knowledge and skills to make a tangible difference in their community. Last example, in terms of media and information literacy, social reconstructionist educators can incorporate media analysis into the curriculum, teaching students to critically evaluate media messages, recognize bias and propaganda, and engage in media activism and promote social change. With that examples, we can conclude that social reconstructionism philosophy really advocates for the transformation of society through education. It aims to address social injustices and inequalities, and by fostering critical thinking and social engagement, it seeks to empower individuals, specifically the students, to actively participate in creating a more equitable and just world. Alright, that's all for Theodore Bramill's social reconstructionism. Let's proceed to Paulo Freire's critical pedagogy. Who is Paulo Freire? Paulo Riglus Neves Freire was born on September 19, 1921 in Recife, Brazil. He was a Brazilian educator and a philosopher who was a leading advocate of critical pedagogy. He believed that teaching should challenge learners to examine power structures and patterns of inequality within the status quo. He argues for an emancipatory style of education in which students are empowered to liberate themselves by taking control of their education. He also emphasizes how important it is to remember what it is to be a human and saw education as a way to transform oppression structures. What is critical pedagogy? Critical pedagogy emphasizes teaching as a political act, and so, the practice should involve students learning how to be active citizens who work towards change. It is an inclusive teaching practice in which educators consider how students' distinct identities will influence their classroom experience. It fosters students' ability to be agents of change, even beyond the classroom, as they learn to challenge societal systems of oppression. It asks teachers and students to combat racism, discrimination, and oppression in and outside of the classroom. It presents knowledge and subjective and supports students in challenging the power structures that have been established to maintain the status quo. For example, in a history class, students are taught about famous historical figure, but instead of merely memorizing the facts, they are encouraged to critically analyze different perspectives on the figure's actions, challenging the traditional narrative and questioning the status quo interpretation. Another example, in a classroom where students come from diverse socio-economic backgrounds, educators can implement a project-based learning activity where students work collaboratively to design solutions for a local community issue such as access to affordable housing. Through this experience, students learn about social justice, equity, and importance of addressing systemic barriers, ultimately contributing to a more just and equitable society. With that examples, we can conclude that applying critical pedagogy in the teaching and learning process serves as a powerful framework for fostering critical thinking, social justice, and transformative education practices. Through its emphasis on questioning power structures, promoting equity, and empowering learners, critical pedagogy paves the way for a more inclusive and emancipatory educational experience. Once again, I am Mark Del Pinoho. I hope that you have learned something new in this video. Thank you for watching.